You're on.
All right. Hello, my name is Joshua Canet, and I'm here to talk to you about automated cars. So how many of you here sit in traffic on nearly a daily basis? That's what I thought. How many of you like to spend something other than driving during that time? Spend your time doing something else. Okay. How many of you would trust your life in a car, in a crowded highway, to a computer? Okay. So first I'm going to start off with a few definitions. First off, what an autonomous car or autonomous vehicle is one that can direct its speed and heading, bearing, whatever you want to call it, on its own through the use of programming. The programming I'm specifically talking about is based in the principle of AI, or artificial intelligence, which is the ability of a computer to learn from what it's doing and make decisions based on prior experiences, much like a person. A robot, which is essentially what an autonomous car is any mechanical entity that is whose actions are grounded based on AI computer programming. And we're all familiar with gridlock, I believe, right? Gridlock, you can't get through the intersection because there's already a car in the way. Huge problem, especially here. All right, so my proposition tonight is that the widespread implementation of autonomous cars will actually improve highway, not necessarily highway safety, but just overall safety on roadways through reducing the number of accidents. The reasons why this is the case is that autonomous vehicles have better situational awareness than human drivers. They have a further capacity to reduce gridlock due to the fact that they can communicate with each other on the fly, something that humans cannot do in a car. And believe it or not, technologies that make autonomous vehicles possible are actually already in use and are already reducing the number of accidents on the road. So first I'm going to start off with the fact that computers basically have better situational awareness than a person. I worked with robots personally here and in high school. Basically what happens is that a computer will only do what you tell it to do. So if you say, if you tell a car to stop if there's like less than 5 feet of space from the car in front of it, it will stop no matter what. There is virtually no lag time whatsoever. Comparing this to a human who has very limited functionality in that regard. A 2014 study conducted by Angelica Dimonco, the director of the Center for Neural Decision Making at Temple University, essentially likens the fact that, so a person can only take in so much information, so many inputs before the prefrontal cortex, which is the area of the brain that is responsible for decision making, essentially just shuts down. Dimonco likens it to a circuit breaker almost. You feed too much current into it, it just shuts off. Same thing with the brain. Michael Vaughn, a contributor that paraphrases Dimonco, also likens it to a circuit breaker. And then you also have the fact that in terms of the computer, you really can't do anything to it to like limit its capacity, like its reaction time. So a person can either be intoxicated behind the wheel. You won't have that with a driverless car, or a computer does not experience what's called microsleep, which is when you're sleep deprived, your brain won't shut off for like 5 minutes or so, just so they can recuperate. That does not happen with a computer. Secondly, autonomous vehicles have the capacity to reduce gridlock more than a human driver does. Gridlock is, we all know it's annoying, right? Well, it's also, believe it or not, it's also dangerous. Boris Kerner of the Daimler Automotive Group said in July 2016 that gridlock is caused by someone slowing down as they approach a traffic light to either merge lanes or do something that is relatively unexpected from the drivers around him or her. He essentially places the blame for this on the fact that there is no communication like real-time communication between drivers of vehicles on the road. This is further corroborated by a 2010 study conducted by the COF Institute of Road Safety in Holland that concluded that the levels of traffic in cities, metropolitan areas, has been steadily increasing over the past 2 to 3 decades, and that this increase in traffic also has an increase, or has a positive correlation with the number of road accidents and road fatalities over that time span. Driverless vehicles essentially solve this problem by the fact that they can communicate in real time. A Temple University researcher named Ben Siebold said in 2014, autonomous vehicles collect a lot of data about the environment around them to operate safely. In principle, these data can be communicated from one vehicle to another. So what this means is that, say you are in an autonomous vehicle driving down the highway. 2 to 3 miles ahead of you, another autonomous vehicle says, okay, in this stretch of road, you're gonna have to decrease your speed by 5 miles per hour. The car you're in gets that data and begins making preparations to slow down before that point. So it slows down safely and more efficiently than a human would because it gets the data in advance. Another thing he said was that there's really nothing stopping an autonomous vehicle from sharing this information with a human, so that they can also have that knowledge beforehand, use at their discretion, which will then go back and give the human advance warning so that he or she can conduct themselves in a safe manner. My last point here is that some of the major technologies that are behind autonomous vehicles are actually already saving lives today. I can find my reference card. Sorry. Okay, well, a study conducted by the Institute of Highway Safety purported that the study looked at the autonomous braking feature in the Volvo XC60 SUV, the 2016 model of that vehicle. She said that, let's see if I can remember correctly. They said that it reduced the number of injury claims by 15%. It reduced the number of property damage claims by 30% and reduced the number of just general accident claims by another 20%. So as you can see, autonomous braking, which will eventually lead into autonomous vehicles, is already saving lives. Another technology that is included in autonomous vehicles is autonomous parking. I believe you've all seen the Chevrolet ad about the car that parks itself, and I want to say it was a millennial woman was like, oh, all amazed at the fact that the steering wheel was turning itself. I think we've all seen that one. That technology has actually been as an option in cars since 2003 with the debut of the Toyota Prius. It was originally marketed in Japan, has been there for the past decade and a half. Since then, 13 major automakers worldwide offer this in numerous vehicles, one such being the Chevy Malibu that is mentioned in that ad. What's on the horizon now is that autonomous parking features that are mobile app based are going to be rolled out in 2018 for the Nissan Leaf and the Tesla Model S. So what these features allow you to do is you can park your car on the side of the road, get out, pull out your phone, tell it to go find a parking space, and it will actually use GPS and a myriad of other sensors to go out, scan the environment, find an empty parking space, and park itself. I believe this, in conjunction with their ability to increase car-to-car communication, to reduce gridlock, and the fact that autonomous vehicles have essentially infinitely better situational awareness than a human will result in a large decrease in the number of traffic accidents, the number of traffic fatalities when they're introduced.
Well, the proposition's pretty clear, and you lay out the structure at the beginning of the speech adequately. I think there's a little bit of controversy suggested by the audience survey that you do, but you don't really present that in the argument. So I think that unless somebody was sitting in the back and saw those hands going up or down, you're missing the opportunity to make it work for you. So you need to plan that a little bit more effectively. Signposting in the body of the speech is okay. Lots of explanations. You sometimes go down some paths that take up a little more time than you really have available. We'll talk about the time issue in a second. You don't get to your third point, for instance, until you're already a minute over time. So that's a big problem. You've got some examples. Most of them are hypothetical in nature, although you get to one at the end where you're talking about the cars that can park for themselves. That's a lot more practical and specific. There's not really any statistical data here. We have a couple of pieces of testimony to support your position. The sources for the testimony and some of the other data that you have, you're doing a reasonable job presenting them, although I do think maybe there are times when you are, like at the end, you're having to wing it because you've lost a source citation someplace and you're doing the best you can. I also got the impression a lot of times that we're getting paraphrases instead of direct quotes, and I think you want to try and quote as directly as possible. The pacing of the presentation seems to be off, and one measure of that is the amount of time. It's 10 minutes and 9 seconds, so that's only 4 minutes and 9 seconds over what it should be. What would that be? 67% longer than it's supposed to be, something like that. So that's not good.